Welcome to a quick overview of a couple of break crop demonstrations on Eyre Peninsula in 2024 as part of the Building Resilience Break Crop Suitability Across Landscapes project, or as we know it, the Break Crop Project. There are two Eyre Peninsula sites, one at Lock on the Central Eyre Peninsula and another at Ungarra on the Lower Eyre Peninsula. Sites have also been established in the Upper North and on the Murray Plains region of South Australia. This project is an Upper North Farming Systems-led SA Drought Hub funded project with Eyre EP delivering the Eyre Peninsula component in conjunction with SADI. The aim of the project was to set up local break crop demonstration paddocks to share information about break crop options and agronomics in different environments across South Australia. Crop establishment, soil testing, in-crop monitoring, yield and economic analysis, ground cover, stubble residues, and benefits for the following crop are all being monitored and recorded. Here's what happened on the EP sites in 2024. Let's head to Ungarra. The main question on Southern Eyre Peninsula revolved around choosing between growing faba beans or lentils. This trial site provided a side-by-side comparison of the two crops, plus a combination of them together, taking into account agronomic factors such as weed management, nitrogen fixation potential, yield, and profit margins. We're here now with Jamie at the Ungarra break crop site. Thanks, Jamie, for being involved in this trial. Firstly, which break crops did you compare here at Ungarra?
So we basically tried beans and lentils as a companion crop versus lentils solo and also beans solo strip.
Did this demo go the way that you expected it to go?
It was probably slightly different. The yields were probably a little bit different than what I thought they may have been, and gross margins slightly more similar than I thought they would be. So the beans lentil companion, the total of those two crops combined together was 1.7 tonne. The lentils by itself, side by side, was 1.4 tonne, and the beans solo was 1.75.
As a result of this trial, is there anything you're going to do differently on farm?
Probably not going to change a lot. I guess the reason for the companion crop was variable soil type and a bit more stone than that. So rather than having solo lentils, put a few beans in there to try and get those lentils up a bit. And in varying soil types, you've got one crop that's going to perform. So probably not something I'm going to implement next year. I think paddock by paddock scenario, there would be a need for that if the paddock choice was dictated that.
As we heard from Jamie, the final yields of each zone were 1.75 tonnes per hectare for beans, 1.4 tonnes per hectare for lentils, and 1.7 tonnes per hectare for the bean and lentil mix. The bean and lentil mix was the most profitable in 2024, even with the cleaning cost. However, the other profits were not very far off, and with a price of $700 a tonne for the beans, these results weren't enough to sway Jamie to convert to only bean and lentil mixes for the future. In further discussion, I also learnt that the paddock has had differing weed burdens over summer and into the 2025 season due to the different crop types and their differing herbicide compatibilities. Stubble measurements and post-harvest nitrogen results are yet to be recorded and will help to paint a bit more detail in the picture of these break crop decisions. Let's go back to our key observations and what we saw across the season. Crop establishment. The heavier soil types had slower crop establishment, especially in the lentils. Soil testing. There was low phosphorus availability on heavier soil types. Economic analysis. In 2024, the bean-lentil mix was the most profitable. Lentils would be the most profitable in a long-term average. Stubble residues. Similar over both crop types. The ground left was fragile over summer due to the dry season, with no extra biomass produced. In-crop monitoring. Weed competition was better in the bean and lentil mix, and NDVI showed sparsest cover for lentils throughout the season. Yield analysis. Faba beans yielded highest in season 2024. Ground cover. Faba beans were stronger in solidifying ground cover. For the dry season, both crops turned out to be relatively suitable. Benefits for the following crop. Well, we'll find out soon as the 2025 season progresses. Increasing drought resilience can be addressed through the integration of appropriate break crops into these environments. Key drought resilience actions include soil improvements, nitrogen fixation through legumes. Diversified crop rotation spreads drought risk over different crop types and provides the opportunity to utilise drought-tolerant species and cultivars. The negative impact of soil constraints can be reduced when matched with the appropriate crop, for example, lentils grown on alkaline soils, and the possibility of higher returns with reduced nitrogen fertiliser costs and the opportunity to grow high-value break crops like lentils. Building Resilience Break Crop Suitability Across Landscapes is an SA Drought Hub funded project led by Upper North Farming Systems, delivered on Eyre Peninsula by Airy P and Sardi. Thanks to Jamie Phillis for hosting the trial and being willing to be interviewed. Thank you to Josh Telfer for undertaking the site monitoring throughout 2024. For more information about this project, head to the Airy P website.